There's a seductive trap many fall into when they gain power. They think repetition reinforces authority, that if they punish often, correct every flaw, and attack every insult, they'll build fear, control, and ultimately respect. But they don't. What they build instead is fatigue. They become predictable, even boring. The edge of their power dulls. Constant punishment, verbal, emotional, or strategic, doesn't make people fear you more. It makes them stop listening. The moment people start expecting your wrath, it loses its bite. When every reaction is an outburst, every failure is met with force, you become noise in the background. You think you're dominating, but in reality, you're decaying. This is the paradox of overcorrection. The more you use it, the less effective it becomes. True power never becomes a routine. It strikes when least expected. It isn't about how many times you can punish, it's about when you choose to act, and how unforgettable the consequence becomes. Power isn't in repetition. Power is in precision. This is why those who strike once, without warning, and then vanish, always leave a stronger impression than those who rage daily. The silence before the blow and the emptiness after it create an echo people can't forget. They begin to fear not just your actions, but your restraint. Because when you finally act, they know it's serious, final, and irreversible. As Machiavelli would hint, cruelty must be swift, surgical, and rare. The audience must feel the weight of the strike and then sit with its aftermath. It's not about humiliating your target repeatedly. It's about making one move that reshapes their reality. But to understand how to do that, to strike once and still burn the memory into the minds of others, we must first understand what overuse of force actually does to your image. At first, punishment commands attention. It stuns. It sends a message. You are not to be crossed. But when it becomes routine, something dangerous begins to happen. Your image starts to erode, not in silence, but in whispers. People adjust. They learn to expect your response, to dodge your blows, or worse, to laugh behind your back. The fear that once made them cautious now turns into contempt. Because if every action results in punishment, there's no longer anything to lose. Your dominance becomes a background noise they adapt to, not a force they fear. This is how tyrants collapse, not because they lacked power, but because they overused it. They punished so often that their enemies grew numb. Their warnings meant nothing. Their threats lost gravity. And eventually, the people stopped caring altogether. Power, when abused, breeds desensitization. The more you flex, the more it becomes familiar. And familiarity is the enemy of fear. True dominance isn't in constant assertion. It's in selective devastation. Ask yourself this: would you fear the man who slaps you every day, or the one who's silent, watching, and then one day ends you with no warning? The second is unforgettable. The first is annoying. The art of psychological command lies not in presence, but in unpredictability. You don't need to correct every insult or counter every attack. You only need to pick one, wait until it matters most, and then crush it so decisively that no one dares challenge you again. Your image must carry the potential for chaos, not the evidence of constant noise. When they no longer know if you'll react or when, they become careful around you. Respect, then, is not demanded, it's engineered through suspense. And that suspense is where your next move begins, because the most powerful strike is the one no one sees coming, but everyone remembers forever. Silence is not weakness. It's the sharpening of a blade behind closed doors. The world assumes silence is surrender, but the wise know it's preparation. You wait, you observe, and when the perfect moment arrives, you don't speak, you strike. Once. But this strike is not rage, it's not revenge. It's a message written in fire. 1,000 little punishments only teach people how to survive you, but one unforgettable act teaches them they should never have provoked you at all. That's how you etch a reputation into stone. Not by repetition, but by resonance. Something so precise, so final, so disproportionate that the mere memory of it does the work for you. And here lies the secret few dare to use. Discipline, not emotion. Planning, not impulse. Most people lash out to be seen, but true power is in restraint. You let the offender feel safe, even victorious. You give them the illusion that they got away with it. Let them laugh. Let them repeat their mistake. Let them lower their guard. Then, when their arrogance peaks, when their supporters are watching, you unleash the one act that doesn't just punish, it destroys the very will to challenge you again. That's the strike that builds legends. Then, you vanish. No long speeches, no gloating. You don't stay to argue, you let your absence amplify the destruction. Leave only questions in your wake. Where did he go? Will he come back? Is he watching? That's how you become more than a person. You become a presence, a myth. And myths are feared far longer than men. Power isn't built by staying in the room. It's built by making people remember how it felt when you left it. So strike once, make it permanent, then disappear, and let the ashes tell your story. If this spoke to your instincts, if you know there's power in silence and strategy, subscribe to Truminds, because the loudest truth is often whispered. Only the wise hear it.